So, day 3 of the Snow White advent calendar. Oh, ripped half the advent calendar. Oh dear. We have vanilla bath salts. Okay, on to day 15 of the beauty advent calendar. Oh, we have an eye palette, and it's a sleek one. I've not tried any of the sleek eyeshadow palettes, but it looks like a neutral palette. That's pretty funky. Okay, and day 15 of the chocolate advent calendar. Yay, we have another little wrapped piece of chocolate. So, my plan of getting up early and cracking on with my Christmas wrapping has not gone completely to plan. So, I did get up early. I was up by just before 8:30, kind of. And I was awake anyway, if not like properly up. So I was listening out for the post, listening out for parcels, because I thought that Daniel from Book Disorders, his present to me might arrive today. And it did, that arrived. But also I had a card come through the door from another courier saying that we'd missed a parcel. And I was like, this is weird, because the doorbell didn't ring, and they said they'd left it by the back door, but this card had gone through the front door. So I was like hunting high and low. The parcel's not even for me, it's for my brother. He was asleep. So I spent an hour on hold to the courier trying to find out about this parcel. Apparently the card's not for us. According to them, the card must have been a mistake for a neighbour or something, because the parcel that he's due is still out for delivery. So it's been a bit of a nightmare. I've managed to wrap my mum's presents, and my mum's presents only so far. I definitely wanted to get hers wrapped first because I wanted to do them while she wasn't here. So now I'm going to be moving on to wrapping Shay's next. But yeah, it's just an absolute nightmare. Desperately trying to be organised, trying to get everything wrapped, and it was like the world was against me this morning. So it's now like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and now's when I'm finally going to get properly started on my wrapping. So this is my selection of wrapping paper this year. We have a ton of Christmas wrapping paper, guys. It's ridiculous. If I remember, I'll try and show you how much wrapping paper we have. It's ridiculous. But I've decided this is the paper that I want to try and use this year. So gingerbread, stag, tartan, this kind of Nordic one. And I've got like 3 rolls of this gingerbread. But yeah, I love that wrapping paper.
Some crackers and some drinks back here. Cut the damage. He's mine. Oh, I forgot.
So I did my Christmas wrapping. It took such a long time, guys. I think it ended up taking me over 3 hours to wrap everything. In the end, I think I've managed to wrap everything. Now, my luck, I will stumble across a present that I've forgotten about or something. I really hope that that doesn't happen. But yeah, and do you ever get that feeling when you've bought everything and then you look at it and you think, is it enough? Like, I know it's not all about the presents and how much you spend and all of that lot, but do you ever just look at it and you think, have I done enough? I hope that I have. I've put Mum's, Lewis's and Shay's in their respective present sacks. I've put my nan and granddad's in together in a not a present sack, but it's like a huge stocking. And everyone else's are just like individual gifts. So yeah, I'm hoping that I've done everything. I've written most of my cards. At some point this week I have to go to the post office and get a stamp, because don't have any stamps, and I need to post a card to a colleague that I used to work with, and she lives in Salisbury. So she sent a card to me, so I want to make sure I get her card to her. So yeah, I think that's most of my prep really done Christmas wise. Watched the Strictly final. That was quite good. So now, yeah, just having a nice chilled out evening. Did have a whole lot of kerfuffle with the post, like I told you guys earlier. Said parcel still has not arrived, so I don't know what has happened to that. Been on edge like all day, like waiting for the parcel to arrive, and it didn't. Watched while I was wrapping. My mum came home and she wanted to watch a film on Netflix, and I think it's called, is it A Christmas Princess? A Christmas Prince? It's a Netflix original film anyway, about this woman who's a journalist, and then she ends up going undercover to find dirt on some Playboy prince, and ends up like falling for him and all that. It was not a bad movie, all in all. It was an okay Christmas movie. Cheesy. If you don't like cheesy rom-com type films, you'll hate it, but it was pretty good. And then when that finished, one of my favourite films of all time was on TV, Dante's Peak. Such a good movie. I love me a good disaster movie, particularly like volcano type films. I remember loving Dante's Peak when I was younger, because I had a fascination with volcanoes when I was younger. Volcanoes and like twisters, all that kind of thing I had an obsession with. So I always loved Dante's Peak and Volcano with Tommy Lee Jones. But anyway, Dante's Peak was on, so managed to watch that, and then yeah, that's pretty much been my evening, to be honest, guys. I wasted so much of the day waiting for post. Then I wrapped my little heart out, and now it's time to chill out. I still haven't got very much into the final story in here, because, you know, like I said, I've been wrapping, blah 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 blah, and the story, I'm about 10 pages in, I think, something like that, and it hasn't gripped me so far. And yeah, I don't know if it's the story's fault, or if just because I'm not in the mood and I want to be reading something else, even though I don't know what that something else is, if that makes sense. I forgot to show you yesterday, but my mum picked this up for me in Asda. And it's for 90 Years of Mickey Mouse. And I saw this book. There's a bookshop near where I work, and I saw it in the window, and I wanted it, but it was £20 for this book. And then I was going to order it, and I didn't order it. And then my mum saw it in Asda, and she's like, I owe you some money. Do you want me to pick up the book for you? Because it's like £10. So that's half the price. That's a big saving. And I was like, And she's like, it's a really nice book. And I was like, okay then. So I've ended up with them. This is what happens when I pick things up for my mum and she's like, I'll pay you back. It always ends up being that she sees something and she's like, I'll pick that up instead of paying you back. And that's how it always happens. I never actually get my money back because she ends up buying things instead. That's how it's always worked. I don't know why, I don't know how, but that is just how it's always worked. So everyone keeps telling me this year how organised I am, blah, 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 which is true. I am pretty organised for Christmas this year, even for me. But how organised are you guys? Like, have you done all your Christmas shopping? Have you wrapped it all? Are you go out on Christmas Eve person? I do not understand anybody that does their Christmas shopping on Christmas Eve. I know that a lot of people, you know, they get paid early, so that's why they go. But I just can't imagine leaving it to that point, because then, like, what happens if you don't find what you're looking for? Like, I literally, the very idea of having to do my Christmas shopping on Christmas Eve gives me anxiety. Like, no joke, gives me anxiety. So yeah, I'd love to know in the comments down below, how organised are you guys for Christmas this year? So I'm pretty much now, for the rest of the evening, I would say I'm gonna read, but I'm probably not, if I'm honest, because I don't feel like it. Honestly, I'm not really feeling like reading this evening. Like I say, I don't know if that's me or I'm not into the book. I don't know. So I'm going to start editing today's vlog, and I will probably end up watching some crime documentaries because when I started Christmas wrapping earlier, it came up in my YouTube suggestions for a crime documentary I hadn't seen before. I'd seen The Case before. It was about April Jones, like a young girl in Wales that was murdered. I've seen, a couple of crime documentaries, but I hadn't seen this one. And then it opened up a few more that I hadn't seen. I think it was called Britain's Most Evil Killers or something, and it had Fred Dinenage narrating it anyway. So I might watch a couple of those. I have swatches on my hand from the Dirty Dancing palette that I showed you yesterday. This one, because I hadn't wanted to like touch it until I'd taken a picture of it. But yeah, that red with the glitter in it, whew, pretty. But I couldn't be bothered to wear makeup today. Well, I didn't get dressed till like 1:30, so what was the point in putting any makeup on my face? So yeah, anyway, I'm rambling on and on now. So yeah, like I said, probably just gonna watch a crime documentary and yeah, go to bed. Hoping I can have a little bit more of a lie-in tomorrow because I did get up early today. Not that I've, done anything overly exciting or nothing, but just the idea that I don't have to get up and listen out for the Royal Mail. It's quite a nice feeling. So yeah, I'm going to start editing today's vlog whilst watching crime documentaries. Go me.